Skip-a-dip-da-boop-ba. Skip-a-dip-da-boop-ba. Yes, you can.
I can't, man.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right, moment sound. Lemon face. Ooh, lion face. Rah. Lemon face. Ooh.
Rah. Got him. Okay.
Skip-a-dip-da-boop-ba. Skip-a-dip-da-boop-bow. Skip-a-dip-dee-doo-dow. Bow. Skip-a-dip-dee-boop-bow.
My X-Men calling all of my X-Men. Answer me, X-Men. I need you to answer me.
It's me, Cyclops. I hear you. What do you need?
My X-Men, I have a very important mission. It's the most important mission
We're
I've
on it,
ever asked
Professor.
of you in
We're
my
on
life.
it. What do you need?
All right. Do you know that gas station down on 5th and Helms?
Are there sentinels? What's going on?
Worse, there's a sale on non-filtered cigarettes. Daddy needs his cigarettes, Cyclops. I need you to bring them home to me.
I don't have a space for a wallet, Professor.
My lungs are like my feet. I can feel neither, and I need something right now.
Look, I know you need them and all, but this onesie here, not a lot of pockets for wallets and personal things. You know, we get captured frequently.
All I hear is excuses. I said, give me the cigarettes, Cyclops.
Fine, I'll make it work. Come on, Wolverine, we gotta get cigarettes. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Your next episode is right here.
It's literally happening right now in
right
your
this
ears.
second, right this second, right this second.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fascinating episode of Fan Fiction.
Just absolutely phenomenal.
And this is a big one for us.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about this one.
I'm super
Oh,
excited.
you always got to outdo me. Why can't I just be like? You always got to do +1.
Well, I mean, since we're going to be talking about superpowers and all that with the Marvel Universe on this one.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice
I wanted to up
segue,
the
Matt.
super, yeah.
Nice. Very cool. So, as you can tell by our beautiful intro,
Obviously.
so we decided this episode in our video game, shenanigans is going to be, we're going to do our top 5. Each of us gets a top 5.
Yep.
Marvel-based video games.
Correct. We're actually going to do a top 10 list combined to the 5 of a countdown. For
Okay,
once.
we're doing a countdown.
Something completely
We're
new.
trying this out, see if it works.
I love counting. I know Dan does, especially in songs.
Nope. No, I hate it. Except for that Feist 1, 2, 3, 4 song. It blew my mind.
I thought you loved counting in songs.
I like the Counting Crows.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that they didn't count the crows, it was a little disappointing. But, it's fine.
I mean, eventually they'll get there maybe on one of their albums.
It's been a long December. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
got it.
Boom, he's on fire tonight.
My Counting Crow puns are on points.
But yeah, if you haven't found out already, we are definitely doing our top picks for all the Marvel games in the whole kit and caboodle canister of everything they've ever put out.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's from the old DOS games all the way to the new stuff, PS5, PS4 stuff.
Yep.
So.
And there are a lot that we're not going to mention. We apologize.
Right.
I'm sure everyone already has like 4 or 5 of their favorites. Me and Matt are just bringing our top 5 to the table. We have some honorable mentions that we'll get to in a little bit. But if we miss any, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
We'd love to.
feel free to berate us in the comments. That's fine.
Just really rake us across the coals. Like, just let us know who's what.
But yeah, I will say though, yeah, like Dan was saying, we are going to kind of corral them all into one. So like, if there's a certain group of them, like the fighting games, for example, we'll probably
we're gonna keep franchise together.
We'll keep most of the franchise together because there are just way too many in-betweeners that were kind of swings and misses, and
honestly,
probably I think
I haven't
both
played a lot of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm just doing the ones that I've played. So
okay, I've played all these in either passing a little bit or completion.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna skip over like a lot of the handheld ones. Not that they're bad, but
that's a good honorable mention.
yeah, they're fun, but they're kind of just
like that
lacking.
one that was like self-contained,
right? Yeah,
and it was just like a A/B button and like a little D-pad.
Right.
And you just literally moved up
even
and down
those
and
the little
over
Tiger
things.
Electronic one.
Yeah,
Actually,
Tiger Electronics.
Actually, I have the Wolverine one upstairs right now as we speak.
Nice.
And yeah, those are fun, but yeah,
They're fun.
They're
But the plot is terrible.
Oh, absolutely.
Just a real bad story.
Apparently, Wolverine and Cyclops can take on Juggernaut by themselves. Who knew?
Just by moving up and down
That's
and shooting
right.
one laser at a time. That's all
Even
you
though
need.
he's impervious to damage, but that's fine.
Hey, quit digging into these, okay?
Comic book
Logic. Oh, that was fun. All right, so I think we should just get started, Matt.
I think so. Are we going to start at the? We'll start at the bottom of the list.
I think we do honorable mentions
You want to do honorable? Okay, we'll start with honorable.
because I think like let's just because they're really this is like 6th, 7th, and 8th place, but we're just gonna wrap them all up.
Fair enough. Also, let's give a little background too. Dan, what was the very first Marvel game you ever played before we get into it?
I think it was Super Nintendo. I
Oh,
want to
okay.
say it was an X-Men game that I had rented from either Blockbuster or something when we first got it. And I just remember it was a really weird, like, because I was like, oh, I want to play as like Cyclops or Wolverine. And it was like, they weren't even playable.
characters.
Well, Cyclops got that one long red eye.
So was it just Cyclops and Wolverine?
No,
or were
it
there
wasn't
more?
even them. It was like weird characters.
Let me Andy that for you. Was Psylocke also playable?
I think so.
Was Gambit and Beast also playable?
yes. Uh-oh.
I know exactly this game.
You know this game.
Yeah,
Okay. It
it's
was a fun
X-Men
game.
Mutant Apocalypse for the SNES.
Apocalypse. God, I'd lick your brain and get smarter.
That game is fun.
It just bleeds
It's a beautiful game.
knowledge. Yeah, it was fun.
And also, I kind of lumped that one in. There was a Sega one too. Purely
Sega.
different characters. They had Nightcrawler instead of like Psylocke or something
Okay.
like that, and kind of the same like side-scrolling beat 'em up kind of mentality.
Yeah, it was fun.
And but that one was it was all focused on Genosha as opposed to Mutant Apocalypse, where it was more focused on Apocalypse and
Got it.
random baddies.
And so that was
Same type of game, though.
That's my first kind of delve
Okay.
into the. But like, and everyone who listens to this knows I'm a DC kid.
That is
so
true.
like I really like. So here's a little fun fact about me. I'm a DC kid, right? I love DC. It's where my heart belongs, except for X-Men.
That,
Like the X-Men. Like I will go to town. I will go to bat. I will go and get him an extra large Blizzard at Dairy Queen. I will do anything for the X-Men. And we're like, eventually we'll start talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're not going to touch on that much at all because this is a video game
Right.
podcast. But like, I don't care about the Avengers. This whole like last 20 years of our life building up, it's fine.
the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great way to put it.
It's
though.
been fine. But like, once the X-Men are officially, and I know Professor X is there, but that doesn't count yet.
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't count yet.
once we get an actual solid,
You show
X-Men.
me Cyclops on the big screen, you have a fan for life. I will
Yep.
be at the midnight showings. I'll be on the subreddits. I'll do all that jazz. But until then, I'm just going to take a snoozer and get there when I get there.
It's kind of like Colossus for me. Like when I saw him in Deadpool, that movie, like, boom, we're never gonna get it.
He was also an X3.
So
So
was he though? Because
Yeah.
it felt like they found some random California surfer guy to like, hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, sup, guys? I'm Colossus.
Yeah.
You want to follow
No,
me?
that's not Colossus. Not
Follow-
only was he not, I don't know. He just.
We're not
Yeah,
talking about
no.
movies. We're not talking about
We'll
movies.
get in that later.
So, Matthew, what is your first like brush?
well, my
with the,
first force.
I don't get it.
I don't know. You said force instead of first.
I get it. Yeah, I got it. Anyways, what's your first brush with?
so my very
Marvel?
first Marvel game was actually like the third or fourth game they ever came out with, which was Uncanny X-Men for the NES back in 1989, which is a travesty of a game.
Oh no!
So as you all know, there's that, or maybe not. There's these X-Men Legends games that are like you build a team. It's kind of like a action RPG type. You get abilities, like a skill tree for each character. You kind of go like a over the top view on a map.
Oh,
and go
I'm
up.
very aware of that.
This game was like the precursor to those. But instead of being able to level people up, you just picked one of four people. I think it was Colossus, Cyclops, Storm, and Wolverine. Yeah, Storm and Wolverine. And or no, it was Iceman and Wolverine. And
Get your story straight,
I'm
man.
so bad. It's been so
get
long.
it together.
But anyway, it's it kind of felt like a really bad version of that because your powers didn't work all the time and everything was glitchy and buggy and it was just garbage.
So the one thing I'm picking out of this is shout out to SNES.
No, NES.
Oh, this was NES.
NES.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, this even worse.
Ooh.
And then the other
Just
one that
4
got me on the
pixels,
Marvel.
like,
Oh no, it is.
Cyclops,
It's everybody's like a blob, and
Yeah.
every attack
Except
is
for
literally
Blob.
another blob. They don't even have anybody. You're like literally just fighting robots.
I feel like he'd be the easiest if everyone looks like a blob and you don't have the blob in there.
Right.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, I don't even know what we were fighting. I think it was like tanks and weird stuff. And
Capitalism.
and then the
even
the
in
U.S. military.
even in the early '80s, we were fighting global warming.
We're
Like,
fighting the military, and
don't say that; they'll shut us down.
but the other game that really got me into was the other NES one, just titled Wolverine, and that was from 1991. And that one is a strange game. Essentially, you just play as Wolverine, and it's like a 2D side scroller like Metroid or what have you. You go through the levels, but the weird part was he didn't have his claws out the whole time, and it cost you power points per second to use his claw. So you had to hit a button and then take him back or else you're gonna lose them.
It's so funny to talk and we mentioned the Ghostbusters game in the last episode where it's like they knew they needed to make a game based off these characters, but they had no way of actually representing their powers. So it's how do we put him in here but also nerf him so we Ghostbusters, you never shot a ghost, you shot bricks downward.
Oh yeah.
And they're so we have Wolverine, but we can't really use his claws.
You're not allowed
to make this work.
Well, you can use his claws and they deal really good damage, but you only get X amount of time with them.
Or else Wolverine gets sweepy.
Something, I don't know. It was really dumb. I remember that being so stupid. And the whole point is to get to Sabretooth at the end. Spoilers, obviously. And
yes.
So the funny part is you're chasing Sabretooth throughout this. That's the whole plot is. I forget why you're chasing him.
That should be the real title of this show. Spoilers, obviously. There's a real conversation about what the show's.
Obvious spoilers. Dun-dun-dun. But
shout out to Matt doing a jazz intro to the X-Men.
It just came to me. I had to feel it.
We've filmed that 4 times and I just couldn't stop laughing. Anyway,
Sabretooth.
Bring it back together. Bring it back.
Anyway, so the whole plot of this one is, for some reason, Wolverine is chasing Sabretooth, and when you finally get to him, there's a giant cliff at the end, and all the other X-Men are going hey, what's up, Wolverine? Good job. I don't think it's the X-Men. I think it's the Avengers. I think it's Hawkeye and Captain America, and they're he's right over there. And they're he just walks past him, and the final boss is you having to play tug of war off this cliff with Sabretooth. And I'm
I love it. Oh,
who came up with this? And that was my first experience with X-Men games and
beautiful
the franchise in whole.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so shout out to the SNES and NES.
Yeah.
So now, Matt, if you do not mind, let's move on to honorable mentions.
Now, preface, we haven't told each other our list.
No, we don't know.
It's a blind
Matt, you kept asking me, and I would start to tell you, no, don't tell me.
I know. Actually, I was pretty bad about it.
You just asked me.
I was the spoiled kid, Christmas Eve, what did I get?
Okay, so I'm going to start out with 3 honorable mentions.
Honorables, okay.
Okay, number 1 is Spider-Man 64.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I love that game. It was great.
Interesting.
It had a whole bunch of different kind of styles. It was my first game that had all the different costumes. And of course I used cheat codes because who doesn't? But I always liked the Ben Reilly costume where it was the hoodie.
Oh yeah.
Where it was cut off. Was that Scarlet Spider?
No, that's Scarlet Spider.
Scarlet Spider is Ben Reilly, right?
I thought so.
Some nerd's gonna check me pretty soon.
No, but he's got the blue tattered hoodie, the sky blue.
Yeah,
hoodie,
that was my favorite. Oh,
that's Scarlet Spider.
That was so cool. I love that one. That was my favorite. I always instantly went to that costume. He just looked cool.
Yeah, Scarlet Spider does have a cool outfit.
It's very 90s, just rattered.
It's hard 90s.
It's hey, what's cool about the 90s? Hoodies. Just cut them off. So that's
sleeveless hoodies.
That's my number 1 honorable mention.
Okay,
Spider-Man 64.
I don't remember that one very well. Was that kind of what was the premise of that game? Just kind of.
The plot of it.
Well, just the gameplay, the plot. What was it again?
You're just Spider-Man doing Spider-Man things. I think the Avengers show up. I think Captain America shows up.
It sounds so familiar, and I know.
It's been years, of course, since I've played it. But it had so you jump from building. There's a part where you're in a bank. There's a part where you're climbing up walls and you have to avoid the of course everyone's shooting at you. It was fun. I just generally I have a good nostalgia feeling every time I think of it. So shout out,
enough.
But it's not a top 5 for me.
Wow,
it's not.
Didn't tickle the fancy heart.
Didn't crack the list. Didn't crack the list at all. Matt,
snap.
What's give me an honorable mention?
So one of my honorable mentions is a pretty funny one because it's notorious for being terrible and hard as hell.
Okay, so Superman 64. Matt, I told you no DC. Well, this is Marvel
no,
only.
because Superman 64 was just pointless, just circling and looping.
No, it's hooping.
This one actually had a plot.
Got it.
And it I love the they tried so hard.
Oh, don't you hate it when you can see how hard they tried and it still failed?
They did their homework, it felt right.
I'm chewing on my nails. What is it?
Silver Surfer for the NES.
Silver Surfer had a game?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
And they had Mephisto as a villain and some of his other iconic ones.
God bless Norrin Rad.
They did so well, with Mephisto and all the other bad guys.
Norrin Rad, right? Isn't that his real name?
I believe so, yeah.
Quiet. Get on your cell phone and look it up so they don't know that we have our cell phones out. Yeah, I think it's Norrin Rad.
I think you're right. I have a hard time because you don't ever call him that.
I mean, I call him that all the time, but
you
we're
really?
pretty close. So that's just who I am. It's not Norman Rad.
But anyway, this game was it was one of those like side-scrolling shooters.
Oh,
So you're
okay.
essentially Silver Surfer on the board, and yeah, Norrin Red, you're right.
Yeah, 10 points for Gryffindor.
Norrin Red, yeah, 100% right. Good
Thank
job,
you.
good
I
job.
don't like
Dan.
to brag or
But
anything.
anyway, you're Silver Surfer on his board, and you're always on the left side of the screen. You can move forward and whatnot, back and
Sure.
whatnot. But it's kind of like a Gallica, not Gallica, but like those other games where it side scrolls for you, like the screen's constantly moving.
They're like Aladdin.
Yes, like Aladdin,
like
the Magic Carpet
yeah,
Ride.
when you had to do you're escaping from the tunnels,
correct.
right? And you had to go up and down. Got it.
And other famous games like that.
But we're
for
not
the
talking.
shooters.
Well, I guess Disney is. It counts
Well, now it is.
I guess it counts.
But it was same concept, but only you could actually shoot like his little power cosmic out while
Sure.
you were on it. And it was just, one of those typical just side scrolling
So why-
auto scrollers.
Why does this get a honorable mention for you?
Because I enjoyed playing it. I knew it was hard as hell, and it's very unforgiving. Like the hitboxes were bad. They give you like 1 or 2 hits and you're dead. It was really stupid hard.
Okay.
But like I said, the artwork for it, the background scenes, like you could bend down as him and stuff. Like just the mechanics of the time, I loved.
Okay. So are we going to do one more honorable mention each?
Yes.
Or do you have 2?
That I only have one more honorable mention.
Okay. So I'm going to do a kind of controversial honorable mention, and that is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it gets
I thought that'd
honorable
be
mention.
higher on your list.
No. I mean, we're going to talk about the Spider-Man game later, of course,
Okay.
because it's fantastic. But like, I enjoyed playing Miles Morales, but it felt like the longest DLC of my life.
Really?
Oh yeah, because like when it comes to the actual mechanics, like so, and maybe I messed up because I played Spider-Man for the PS5 like right before it.
Mm-hmm.
It came out, and like, I think it's way too easy. It's like because you can go invisible. Like it was too easy because I usually play on just normal mode. I don't try and trick myself and do anything on hard. But like the swinging felt the same.
Yeah.
Like it's like you just took Spider-Man PS5, PS4, and then essentially just put Miles in it, gave it a kind of generic, not all that interesting story. Because let's be honest, if you've played it, like the story was like tech billionaire bad guy turns out to be the tech billionaire bad guy. There was no real plot twists or anything like that, and like
That's
had
always
some
sad when it kind of get a little lazy on that part.
yeah, it's like this little sprinkles of like Easter eggs here and there, but like overall, like it was fun to play, but it didn't wow me. I was just like, oh, yep, this feels like just a DLC for Spider-Man PS4, PS5. So I'm gonna put that on my honorable mentions list. It's not cracking top 5 for me.
Oh, you know what? When you say it like that, though, that's fair. Because, yeah, when they don't put
It
like...
felt very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
It's like they just took the coding of Spider-Man, put Miles in there, and just like gave it a weird...
and here's the open sandbox. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they didn't reinvent the wheel enough to make it feel like its own game.
And yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful game.
Oh, gorgeous.
And it's not smooth, but like...
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But so was Spider-Man.
Yeah, so
you know
was
what I mean?
Spider-Man.
Like,
so were the other like 3 or 4 versions
if this
of
came out before Spider-Man, I would probably be saying this about Spider-Man.
Probably, yeah.
But Spider-Man came out first, so Miles naturally is the
So really just more the story is kind of not...
story's fine.
it's just...
It is, you know,
meh.
you're not going to write home about it, but
Right.
you're not really like, well, it's not bad. It's just not great. It's not bad. It's not great.
It's just not that memorable.
It's just not that memorable. Yeah. Okay, so Matt, let's do your last
This is
honorable
going to
mention.
shock you, Dan, because I am such a fan of fighting games, but I'm just kind of lumping all the fighting games together for my honorable mention. Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Street Fighter.
Oh, Matthew Charles McQueen.
I know.
This hurts.
I know.
This is a lot for me.
Well, you'll find out later on why, because...
Will I?
Oh, you will, because my top 1 and 2 you'll know very well, and you'll know why I picked them.
Okay. So then why are we recording this if I already know?
Well, you're right. Let's get out of
Shut
here.
it down. Shut it
You want
down.
to get a soda? I heard there's a gas station over on 5th and Helms that has some great
cigarettes.
Sunkist,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah. It's
cigarettes.
Sunkist. Yeah.
Dan, you really got to wear those patches.
I'm not going to me, my X-Men.
But no,
Took me like 20 minutes to get that accent down. To me, my X-Men. Anyways, talk about so Marvel
sat in the mirror
versus
for
everyone.
hours. Yeah, so pretty much all the fighting.
Hours of our lives gone.
Oh man.
Get off your phone and podcast with me.
Hey, look, all right. I got to look up the name of the thing because there was
Uh-huh.
one on there that I was trying to.
Thanks for doing your research.
Anyway, I can't remember the name of it.
Filling the time while Matt looks at his phone.
Look, there's one in the series that I couldn't think of.
Okay.
There's too many. Do you know how many there are? There's like
I know.
hundreds.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about like the DOS quest search ones.
And Matt, we're not gonna.
No, because they're terrible.
Moving on.
By the way, there are a lot of Hulk games, and 2 of them are like type to text or text to action. They're terrible.
You just type Hulk smash every single time.
Yeah, and it's like,
what happens?
Dig a hole, Hulk, and he's like, I dig a hole, and like it's like, oh boy, you guys put a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But no, back to the fighting ones. Marvel vs. Capcom, obviously, amazing, iconic game, super fun.
And this is your honorable mention
because they're so good.
Oof.
But they're not good enough for the other ones. Just I don't know. I feel like they're better.
I got it.
Because I mean, this is just like guest appearances in fighting games almost.
Sure.
And, you know, they do all the characters justice. Omega Red, Cyclops. Everybody gets a good little Wolverine. They're all, you know.
Okay.
And then there's the one I was trying to look up the name of that I actually owned for PlayStation, which was the one with Thanos where you actually get to play as like Doctor Doom.
Oh, yeah.
And Juggernaut.
I think it's like Infinity War, right?
Something like that. It's like.
Because we had it on the PlayStation.
You know.
Or not the PlayStation, the Super Nintendo,
I would
right?
lean over and go grab the case, but like
this
chair is going to
for PlayStation, Super Nintendo? What's it for?
PS1.
PS1.
And it was just your typical beat 'em up, but like Captain America was really good in it. And they even had Shuma Gorath.
God bless you.
Yeah, the weird demon eyeball thing that nobody gives a crap about. And I'm like, what a weird character to put in a fighting game, but sure, why not?
Why not?
And the Marvel vs. Capcom one, that one got real huge for a while.
Sure.
And I was just not that good at juggling, so I had to get rid of it because, you know, people are just beating me too much.
I was like, the fact that Matt McQueen, who is like, and I've said this before, the fighting aficionado, fighting game aficionado, like he's fantastic. The fact that you use that as an honorable mention, I'm just blown away. I thought that was without a doubt top 3 for you.
Well, like I said, they're really, really great games, and I highly recommend them. But like, no, the other ones on the list, I don't know. I think nostalgia is just taking over.
All right, Matt. You know what that means?
What's that?
That means we're on to our top 5.
Oh boy, here we go.
Get excited. So it's going to be a top 10 altogether. I have my top 5. Matt has his top 5. Matt, would you like to go first with the drum roll, please?
No, actually, you should go first. Yeah.
Awful. Okay, I'll go first. I'd like to go first because you know what my top 5 is?
I do not.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Really?
Yes, that is my top 5. I'm not gonna lie. The hours and I don't know. Well, no, I know exactly.
It's a great game.
It's a great game, but I spent hours and hours and probably tens and tens of dollars at the bowling alley.
Oh, really?
Because like I'm not a great bowler. And like I just like anytime anyone wanted to go to the bowling alley or the skating rink, it's not my thing. I'm not really super physical. So I was always in the arcade. And man, I would just drop dollar after dollar into Marvel vs. Capcom. I'd build my team, Cyclops,
building
Spider-Man,
the team is the best aspect.
I ignored Capcom altogether because who are they?
Mega Man, Ghost and Goblins, Arthur from that series. Like, there's so many good ones.
That's me snoring.
Resident Evil. Get out of here. Tron Bonne was in one of those.
Okay, cool.
Wow, for Mega Man Legends.
Great. There's a trombone in one of them. That's super exciting.
I'm gonna ignore you said that.
Oh, do it.
They even had Darkstalker characters in there.
Sure, I know
dare
that.
you.
Okay. Anyways, but this game, I spent for a small amount of time. I was at the bowling alley or skating rink for like 2-3 hours. At least 70% of the time, I was either playing Area 51, which is the coolest little shooter game, or Marvel vs. Capcom. It was my first button masher before where you would just have the joystick and be like,
oh yeah, because everybody had their unique moves. It was like I said, they're amazing games.
I was terrible at it, but man, just talking about it now, I'm already kind of smiling like an idiot, remembering all of the nostalgia coming back.
It makes me want to build an arcade machine just for that.
No plot, just 3 of my Marvel people versus whoever they're gonna throw at me. And then you do those swap-ins where it's like you're fighting, and all of a sudden Spider-Man would just swing in and kick the person in the face, and then
And I love that mechanic is still living on in future games too. Because even the Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball
something Kai, blah blah blah.
I think it's like Dragon Ball Fighter
Super
Z.
Ultra.
I think it's Fighter Z.
Sure.
But that's the one that's the newest one where they all tag in, and I love that they keep using that in other titles too.
So that it's got a place in my heart.
Yeah.
I loved playing it. I wasn't very good at it, but who cares? It's my number 5. Marvel game, number 5.
Because the early entries were a lot more lenient on people playing it, but the newer one, once you get to a certain skill cap.
I guess I should also caveat, I need the arcade.
Yeah,
I need the joystick. I need to have a soda. I need to have people doing physical activities in the back that I'm ignoring. That's what I need. It needs to smell slightly greasy and oily.
I need some dude on the loudspeaker going, lane 10 now open.
I need the smell of rotating hot dogs that need to be taken off like hours ago.
Some dude spraying aerosol on the shoes in the back.
Nacho cheese that's not really cheese. Yeah, that's I need all of that to make this work. But boom, that's my number 5. Matt, what do you got?
It's actually really funny that that's your number 5 because my number 5 is also an arcade game, Dan. The X-Men game for the arcade.
Ooh.
And that's literally the title of his X-Men.
For the arcade?
For the arcade.
Yeah,
do you remember that one?
I don't.
No, don't? Oh, really? Well, buckle up, buckaroo.
He literally just like shifted his glasses. I want you to know he was like, okay, everyone, and then just did the nerd little twinge.
So this one, do you remember the Simpsons arcade game?
Oh, without a doubt.
100% a clone of that. I don't know which came first.
So who hits people over the head with a vacuum cleaner in the X-Men game then?
Wolverine.
Okay, good. Good save. Good save.
But no, it's the same style beat 'em up. It's side scroll beat 'em up. You don't get to move on until you clear out the stage of all the baddies. But the cool part about this one, same with the Simpsons version, is they had at least like 4 or 5 people could play the same time.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And multiplayer is super crucial.
And if you didn't have anybody, you essentially picked one person to control, but everybody kind of punched at the same time you did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you could kind of maneuver it, or sometimes it would just let you, be yourself. But like,
who's the big baddie in this one?
Magneto.
Okay, of course.
Of course.
It's tried and true.
And essentially you're if I remember correctly, I think you go through pretty much the Brotherhood. Like you fight Pyro, Blob, all the Juggernaut, all them, and like Mystique. And they were kind of like, the Brotherhood and Magneto were the big baddies.
Sure.
And what's cool though is they actually extended the roster of the X-Men to like Dazzler even.
Well, Dazzler was an X-Men.
I know. And I was like, that's cool.
So they just picked like kind of more obscure.
Yeah,
not
right.
really obscure, but like
B-list.
Yeah, like Banshee. No one ever plays as Banshee, like thinks about him, but like Banshee's like crucial as H.
Right.
Okay. So
but yeah, like just the aspect of being able to choose different characters like that. And the fact that like everybody had their own little special techniques and that kind of thing. And like I said, also it's also well known for like the voice acting in it too.
You and voice acting.
I love it.
You
love it.
Loving voice acting.
Magneto like taunts you and says different things. It's great.
Okay. Do you remember any of his sayings?
I don't off the top of my head.
You are not superior.
You probably nailed it, honestly.
We are polar opposites. Get it? Because
no.
Okay. Well, it was worth a shot.
Polaris, get over here.
That's
and
his daughter.
pull them over here.
Oh, that was.
I don't know.
I hope that was in there though.
No, she's not in there.
Okay. So.
But yeah, number 5, definitely that beat 'em up arcade style. I love it. It's kind of like a diet fighting game. You versus a bunch of computers.
Okay.
But
I dig it.
It's enjoyable. Lovely backgrounds. Lovely
so hey, both of our number 5s arcades.
That's what I was saying.
I love it, Matt.
What a great little twist.
We should rub our brains together one day. No, just to get rid of the skull. I want like flesh to flesh, spongy brain to spongy brain.
All right, so let's hit me with that number 4.
Hit you with the number 4.
What's coming up next on Dan's
ladder? Should we play
the
guessing game? I'll like describe it to you a little bit.
Oh yeah, describe it to me.
4 versions of the same character.
Okay.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Hey, this game has Neil Patrick Harris in it.
Origin of Neil Patrick Harris?
I don't know what his parents' name are. Paul and Linda Patrick Harris.
The name of the game is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
It is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. No, yeah. So
as soon as you said like multiple, and I was like, oh, Neil Patrick. And
I think PlayStation 3. Don't quote me.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Don't quote me.
2 or 3.
I'm not going to get on my phone and look it up. I'll just be wrong if I'm wrong.
I think it's 2 or 3. I think you're right. I think it's 3.
God, I remember it was so cool. Like, they didn't really combine too much of like the whole multiverse, but it was Ultimate Spider-Man for a little bit, and I think that's who Neil Patrick Harris,
I believe you're
voiced.
Right. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but then Spider-Man Noir was in there, and it was the guy who did the voice for the Spider-Man animated series.
Oh yeah,
no, that I almost did.
I always loved him doing that.
Oh yeah, it was great.
He was also job.
And again, I could be wrong, but I think he's the guy who played Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch, like remake movies from the 90s.
Get out!
Remember,
really?
like the Brady Bunch movie, the very Brady sequel. Right. He's the guy who plays Greg Brady. So go watch him and like close your eyes and pretend Spider-Man's part of the Brady Bunch.
What a career!
What a career! So then you got Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man 2099. You got Ultimate Spider-Man, and then you had regular old Spider-Man. And like each one felt, I think Spider-Man Noir had Hammerhead. Ultimate Spider-Man, I think, did Venom, I want to say.
So they each kind of had their own little key
And like,
villain.
and then I think Madam Web was like, oh my God, everything's getting all funky dunky.
Madam Web, what a convoluted but crazy character to throw in.
Hey, she's coming into the Spider-Man Sony dimension pretty soon.
Really?
Yeah, that's a movie coming out.
That'll be an interesting one to throw in.
We'll see what happens.
Oh man, that's a hard one to throw in just randomly.
Well, I mean, I know we're getting off movies, but Sony's just grasping at straws for Spider-Man right now.
That is true.
They like Morbius. We got Craven coming out.
Craven the Hunter.
Like there's I forget the rapper's name, but like there's a like El Matador. Again, I'm saying wrong things, but there's like a rapper movie who plays a Mexican wrestler coming out. Madam Web's coming out. Venom's out. Like they have every piece of the puzzle except for Spider-Man. So it'll be really interesting for them to bring this all together.
They're missing that centerpiece on that puzzle.
And they even got Michael Keaton's Vulture.
I love Michael Keaton's Vulture.
We're not talking about like he's great.
He's great.
But he's now over in essentially the Sony world.
Wow.
Yep. Because of the multiverse break in No Way Home.
The multiverse happened. The things are shattered. They went that way.
Dimensions. Anyway, so I loved it. It was really, really fun to play. The game style was always kind of the same, but like
was it more sandboxy stuff?
No, it wasn't sandbox.
No,
it was very like you start
linear
here,
levels.
you have to get so you're going through like Spider-Man.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. This one's more like Metal Gear, where it's like you go down a level and then you go. It's like a map, but you have to get around.
You're gonna get to point Z,
right?
You don't get to go anywhere else.
It's not super open, but
and it's usually like
somewhat.
So Spider-Man Noir, like you had to hide and get all the bad guys, and then when you got them all,
that's the part I was talking about with the Metal Gear thing, like the
yeah. So it was a great game. If you're ever at GameStop and you see it for like $15, without a doubt, it's worth a buy. It is a fantastic game. Please go.
Yeah, because
Spider-Man.
I only played that for a little bit because when we were living together, I remember you played it all the time, and I used to just
great.
I used to just watch you play it.
It's fun,
and I was like, this is a pretty cool game.
Oh yeah, like it does. If you're a Spider-Man fan, it's a can't miss. It is 100%. You're gonna enjoy it. Dan stamped. Go buy this game right now. Shout outs to GameStop,
who hopefully makes some revenue off of this.
Oh yeah,
because I need it.
Yeah, well, so do we. Matt, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is one that's very near and dear to my heart. It's Spider-Man Maximum Carnage.
Oh,
for the SNES.
Okay.
They literally just took the plot from the comic Maximum Carnage,
sure,
where he splits off into different symbiotes, and made it into like a Double Dragon side-scrolling beat 'em up type game.
But so this is your second side-scrolling beat 'em up game on your list.
Correct. So far,
I'm noticing a pattern, Matthew.
It was just a solid game.
Okay,
because the game is it's awesome in the fact that they let you switch between Spider-Man or Venom each level, so you get to pick either the two big coolest heroes in the comic.
Were their move sets fairly different?
They were.
Okay.
Spider-Man was definitely faster and more agile, but Venom did double the damage, and he, you were definitely sluggish.
Tank versus melee,
right?
Absolutely.
And it was
tried and true video game.
Beautiful. That's what I love. They felt different. They did things a little differently. Even the way like their animations, like Venom would just shoot a whole chunk of his arm up and swing, and things like that.
He was very goopy.
Very goopy.
He was very goopy with this stuff.
And not only was it like Double Dragon where you had to go up or left and right, they made you go up and down too.
Ooh.
So like the first level, I believe, it starts you crawling up a building to go fight. Oh man, what's that 6-arm version of him from Maximum Carnage?
Man Spider.
Something like, is that Man Spider?
I mean, there is a Man Spider.
I think it is.
But he should have.
I'm sorry, it's Doppelganger. That's
Doppelganger.
Doppelganger. That's right.
Nice.
Doppelganger's up there. He's the first boss. And like I said, then you fight like all of Carnage's little lackeys.
Okay.
And then because I don't think you actually get to see
because it's Carnage is the main bad guy.
Oh yeah,
right?
He's definitely the final.
It's also the girl version. What's her name? Siren? Scream. Got
Scream. And then there's like Scream's in it, I believe. And then that one Banshee chick too who screams. I can't think of her name.
I have no idea.
There's a bunch of like all these random villains.
Dusty is listening to this right now, and she is like absolutely screaming everyone's name.
You morons!
I'm sure she's mad as hell. Like, why did you invite me for this episode? We're gonna be talking about Venom.
If you're just gonna talk about Spider-Man, I should have been here.
Yeah. Shout outs to Dusty.
But no, the funny part is the best part about this too is not only did you get to play as Venom and or Spider-Man.
Sure.
And the levels switched around from up, down, left, right, and all that.
Okay.
You just went around the city and you actually got to summon all the other city heroes like Luke Cage, Cloak and Dagger, as like summon abilities.
All about more people being in this.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Like I believe Luke Cage just runs up and just runs through the street and just clotheslines people. Cloak and Dagger just show up and he just like AoE destroys everybody.
Sure.
I think it was like the first time I ever knew about Cloak and Dagger too. And I'm like, what is this?
I think, do you know they have their own TV show or had?
Get out.
I think it's on Hulu. Look it up.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, Cloak's got some insane powers. That's going to be hard to translate to like.
I don't know.
Okay.
But no, like, and I know that game lives in infamy. Or not infamy, but it's like a lot of people love that game.
Oh, it's got some good challenge level too. Like it took me a long time to beat that one.
Anyone who has a Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Like it's usually one
or
of the.
Or if you have an emulator, obviously.
Sure, of course.
And if you don't know what Double Dragon is, it's just you hit the buttons, you move left to right, and stop the baddies. Same like that arcade one I mentioned before.
It's about two dragons who have
who
to
fall in love.
Who fall in love. It's a dating sim.
You know, you're not too far off though. Do you actually know the plot of Double Dragon?
Oh my god! If I'm not that far off, I am terrified of what the actual plot of Double Dragon is.
It has something to do with the dragon.
It's two brothers, right? And they have tattoos.
Two brothers,
and
right? But they're both in love with the same woman, and they're both out to save her. And then
story of our lives.
Plot twist for that one.
There it is. All right.
But it was definitely Maximum Carnage for my number 4 because it's just a beautiful game.
Are we ready to move on to our number 3?
I believe so, yeah.
All right, do you want to go?
I'll go. Yeah.
Throw number 3 at me.
So funny enough, Dan, we already mentioned it, but X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. That's my number 3.
Shut up.
I love it.
God, really? A number 3. The third best Marvel game that you've ever played.
This game had just about everything.
Okay.
Not only did you get 4 or 5 play, because hold on, it's I can do this. It's Colossus, Psylocke, Beast, Gambit, Wolverine.
Yeah.
And not only did you get all 5 of the cool ones, but like they each have their own.
There's one you're missing.
Who?
No, the one that should have been there.
Should have been there.
Say his name. Say his name with respect on it. If you're gonna have an X-Men game, and you're not giving me Cyclops.
No, Cyclops is in there.
I thought you said it was.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Morph.
Oh, well, Morph is all of them. No, I don't think Cyclops is in it, is he?
No, he's in it.
Oh, okay,
he's 100% in it.
I take all. That was a whole intense moment that I have to take back.
I said Cyclops first. You probably just didn't hear it. But the best part about this though is the intro. I kid you not. All 5 of them, if you recall, Dan, get their own special mission to start out the game.
Uh-oh.
And like I believe Cyclops
is a gas station down in 5th and Helms.
No, I think his is a train station.
Okay.
He has to stop the military train. Gambit had to go like disrupt a Sentinel.
Sure.
Or Psylocke did. But they all had like their own little special mission in the beginning. And then they came together and you got to choose who you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody had their own little, like, I want to say certain characters were better for certain missions and you can mix and match and just the customization of it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't get too much customization like on the SNES. You really don't.
Every character felt different and unique.
Okay.
You got to use whoever, once you got past the intro stages, you could pretty much use whoever you wanted from then on out. And if one died, you kind of switched to the other one, kind of like the old school NES Ninja Turtles game did.
Okay.
If one died, you had to play as the other ones.
Sure.
And some X-Men were better versus certain bosses in the game. And like my main man, Omega Red, shows up as one of the bosses.
God, I was wondering
there's a danger room level
podcast was going to go before you brought him up.
Juggernaut and Omega Red show up, and I'm like, oh well, it just sold me. And
Omega Red.
How have you beaten the game?
No.
Oh.
Like, let's be honest.
Okay,
I played it such a long time ago.
Not only does it have Omega Red and Juggernaut, it has Apocalypse at the end.
Sure.
And it has Brood, the Brood Queen.
The Brood?
The Brood Queen shows up.
Not bad. Not bad.
I was like, man, Brood is not used enough.
Do they go to the Savage Lands?
I don't think they do.
Okay, well, we tried.
I know they go to Genosha again.
Okay.
And then, like I said, this one kind of correlates with that one for Sega, where it's just about Genosha. And it's like, you got to fight the one weird Superman version in Marvel. I can't think of his name that worked for Magneto.
Oh, Alpha Centauri
you're so close.
Or something like that. He has like the weird, crazy mohawk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. The one who, no, not the blue guy.
Not the blue guy.
No.
Because he's like with.
No, he is like the Superman though. You're correct.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one who specifically worked for Magneto and he was part of Genosha storyline.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. He's essentially a Superman. He's in there and you got to beat him.
As you can all tell, we did a lot of research when it came to...
Look, I haven't watched that cartoon or read that comic in forever. You have to forgive me on that one.
I won't, but Let's hope the guests will.
But he doesn't have any speaking parts. He's just, here I am. Good luck. And you're
Rock you
"Ooh."
like a hurricane.
However, that one you got to be Nightcrawler, but it's essentially the same game. But this one I felt was better, just in the sense of that first 5 intro missions were beautiful.
So out of your 5, 3 of them were made like 15 years ago.
Dude, I can't help. Okay, well,
I mean, no,
Yeah.
hey, to each your own. Like, enjoy the
we'll
games
tell you what,
want to
Dan.
enjoy.
You're not going to be upset with my final 2 then.
Okay, I'm just like
I'll just say
and Matt, this is why I love you, because you love the old school. You love the
my dip into the past is now over.
Is it? Don't spoil anything, because my number 3 is a deep dive.
Oh, let's hear it.
Myself, and so I have a lot of personal
It's
connections.
Aquaman.
This is Marvel. So there was a fighting game for PlayStation 2.
Go on.
And it's called X-Men Next Dimension.
Oh,
Do you
man,
remember
I
playing this
forgot
game?
about that game.
We used to go over to my brother-in-law
Yep.
and sister's house, and we would stay up until 4
man.
or 5 in the morning, just passing the controller.
Every time you lose, you pass the
Every
rock.
time you lost, and it like the specials were amazing.
Oh, I forgot about that game. That game was beautiful.
Oh, it was so good. And so like
that was a great fighting game.
The plot of the game, if it's a fighting game, so we can talk about the plot.
Yeah, the
but it should
plot's
only take
very
about a minute.
diet. Yeah,
It's
very minimal.
you go up against the Sentinels and then Nimrod, which is my favorite.
Great name for a villain.
Like and that's the be all villain. Like
Yeah.
Nimrod wins always.
Oh,
Anytime
yeah,
there's
he's
like you go
scary.
into the future, it's like, well, Nimrod takes over everything.
If it's not Ultron, it's Nimrod.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's just a super advanced, super AI Sentinel that's just
Yep.
god tier, right? And so
Terminator to the X
like,
degree.
you're just playing all the X-Men fighting sometimes the Brotherhood, and then like through the progression of Sentinels, and then the final boss. The plot doesn't matter. You just beat Nimrod,
right. Most fighting games, the plot's very.
But
meh.
it was one of the first 3D fighting games that I ever saw, and I'm sure there was tons before this. Don't get me wrong.
Definitely.
But like that, like
Such
each-
as Soul Calibur 1, which was Soul Blade.
Well, each level was like actually like 4 different levels. So if you said I want to play at Professor X's mansion,
Oh,
if
that's
you could
right.
beat somebody close enough to a wall and do a special, you would knock them through a wall, which would hit them to the elevator, and they would drop down into the layer.
Yeah,
that
it was
had
one of the first games that
Blackbird.
had, like the developing stages. Yeah.
and it was fully circular.
Yeah.
Like you could literally go from X mansion to the courtyard to the like underground where the Blackbird was kept, and
Yep.
then hit them right back into the courtyard and then back into the X mansion.
which
like,
DC then used in their later versions.
yeah, and I
I
absolutely
love when they do that.
loved it. The only drawback though, but it was actually kind of funny, is like we would be playing against each other all the time. And they're like special moves. If you like, you'd have to like beat up, and they had the bars, right?
Yep.
So when you got to 4 bars, you could like, you can now do your special.
your special ability.
But they were like somewhat complicated. And,
Oh.
and we couldn't ever remember them. So you'd always pause the game
Hold on, go look
and
it
then
up.
look up what the
Yeah.
special is. And the other person's like, okay, cool, you're gonna do your special now. And it was, as all fighting games, just one back, and it was
one little
blocked.
guard press.
So
And
you'd
yeah.
have to like look, and then like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And then you'd
Yeah.
have to do it. Like, so you could always tell when someone's ready to do their special.
Because it's not
they
like Mortal
pause.
Kombat where they give you time to do your finisher. This one is
Oh, no.
like, mid game, hold on, time out. And it's like,
But-
great, thanks for stopping
But
the action.
some of those finals were so cool.
oh, they were
Like,
beautiful.
remember
Well
Mystique? She
done.
would like beat you up, and then just like or maybe it was Bishop. Someone who had a gun, like would like do something, hit
Oh,
your
that was
knees down,
Bishop, yeah.
and put like the gun on the back
Yep.
of their head, and just like
That was
like,
Bishop.
oh,
Yeah.
loved Havoc. Havoc was
Ooh,
my guy.
yeah.
I loved Havoc in that game.
God, I missed that game.
It was a good roster. There was like over, I think, 20 different characters you could play.
I am surprised they've ever done another one of those.
Oh, that was like that was almost number 2.
Wow.
But number 2 and
That
3
was-
are very special.
that
to
was
me.
a really good game.
So, but like, if you're looking for a fun, it's a little dated. The graphics, if you go back now, are a little wonky. Let's be honest. But like,
yeah, but they
but
could
at the
update that,
time,
yeah. Oh, at the
who
time it
cared?
was fine.
Like,
yeah.
you're just having a great time. So, my number 3, X-Men Next Dimension for PlayStation 2.
Great one.
Matt,
Solid. All right, mine is also.
Matt, this episode is going to be super long. We still
What?
haven't gotten to the fix part, and we're not.
Oh,
done.
it's fine.
It's
They'll
fine.
get over
We'll
it.
fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. And by us, I mean David.
I edit too.
And Dan does too.
I edit too. All right, Matt. Matt.
But okay, so number two for me.
Now, this
Yeah.
is the second best Marvel
best
game
Marvel
you
game to
have
me.
ever played.
Correct.
All right, bring it at me.
And you've played it as well. and you know it very well. And it's Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
Oh, Web of Shadows.
Loved
Amazing.
this game. Not only
You
do
thought
you,
Web of Shadows over Shattered Dimension?
no, Web of Shadows, because they give you the choice. Do you want to be good Peter Parker? Do you want to be bad Peter Parker?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I love the two or three different endings.
Yep,
and,
different endings. depending on what you
choices.
choice.
The boss battles were great.
The Vulture one was. I
Oh,
just remember
man.
how like
And it was like the first like real hardcore sandbox Spider-Man like
Yep.
GTA game where
Mhm.
like it felt very much
What
like
was
Grand Theft Auto where
was
you
it
were
that
just
or
running
Spy-
around.
the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 2 movie. I think was also a really big opening.
Yeah.
that was a big one. Shout
But-
out to Spider-Man 2
Exactly.
movie. Yeah,
And this one, like, yeah, like you said, like the boss battles were unique. They all had their little vibes to them. Everything that all the missions felt wonderful.
Mhm.
Even Moon Knight shows up for a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit.
Oh,
they extend that roster of characters
Yep.
again. I'm like, beautiful.
and that's what I love
The
about
cutscenes
games.
are great. Like, this game has everything.
Okay,
Just everything.
cool. It was a fun game.
It was super
like,
fun.
To me, the reason I didn't put it up there is because I remember liking it, but I also like once it was done, I was done with it.
Oh, see, I love replaying it and just running around and just messing around with the powers. Plowers.
You're
But
doing,
like-
Psst, you're doing great.
Am I doing it?
You're doing great, Matt. Keep it up. Anyways, yeah, it was fun. I played this one. I think we played it
We
like
played it
roughly at the
together,
same
yeah.
time. Yeah, we were living together.
One of us owned it, and we just kept playing it, off and on.
Yeah, it's really really
And,
fun. It was
And
fun. to swing
Symbiote
around.
Spider-Man felt unique, like regular Spider-Man, like the
it's from-
choices, the skill trees.
Yeah, I was gonna
loved
say,
it.
correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a skill tree
Yeah,
where
it's
you could put,
essentially like an action RPG.
do you want to
yeah.
do the Venom side of things or do you
Yep.
want to do the Spider-Man side of things?
And-
yeah,
Oh, it was great.
it's fun. Yeah, you
And
know
they
what?
gave you some hard moral decisions
it's
too.
It's a solid game. It's
love
a solid
it.
game.
I love when they give you hard moral decisions. You're
Okay.
like, man.
It's a good one.
And decisions that pay off. Mass Effect 3. Anyway,
Hey, you had to wrap it up. Shout out to Fan Fiction episode 2.
2?
Was that 2?
3? Somebody go back and look and
Yeah, I
tell
think
us in the comment.
It's either 2 or 3. It's either Diablo or Mass Effect was 2 or 3.
One of the two.
It was such a remember when we filmed those, Matt?
Remember when we filmed
Remember
those?
way back when.
I remember.
I remember. No, that's a solid 2.
I think it is. I think it's a fantastic.
I mean, but I have to disagree with you. I don't think it's a top 5 game. I'm sorry,
I'm
Matt.
leaving.
Like, and this is the point. We
leaving.
can argue, we can discuss, but who is the main villain of that game?
yourself.
Nope.
That one wasn't it like the giant weird venom thing at the end that ate the helicarrier?
I don't know, but you didn't know either. And
No, I
that's
didn't
the
know. It's the
point.
giant venom thing at the
Oh.
like the symbiote comes alive and eats the helicarrier. And you have
What
to-
symbiote? I thought
Um,
Vulture was the villain at this one.
no. Because later on, Kingpin shows up and he's got the flying fortress, and then like
Man, maybe I do need to give this game a little bit more respect.
you need to go back and play because I'm pretty sure Venom gets out of control. The symbiote gets out of control, and then like it splits off, and you have to fight it again. And
I just remember there being bombs all over the city. That you
yeah,
had to,
that's from Kingpin's base.
yeah. It's
No,
fun.
like this game has a lot of depth.
You know,
like,
I take back my shenanigans. It's a good game.
it's got a
it's
lot
a good game.
of depth.
I don't think it's a top 5, but again,
It
it's
is-
opinions.
Remember in the beginning when Luke Cage shows up, you're like, oh my god,
Sure.
it's Luke Cage. He's like, cool, let's flip a car. I'm
Didn't
like,
he-
yeah, Luke.
Didn't he also have his like 1970s,
Yeah,
like with the
well-
headband? I'd have to look it up.
No, I don't think he did. I think he had the regular ball.
Well, then they missed out.
I think they did when he was Power Man. Yeah,
All right, you ready?
I'm ready for number 2.
I'm gonna. This is without a doubt. So my number 1 and 2 are basically interchangeable. They're very different games, but both of them are like amazing in their own rights.
Okay.
And so, like, you know, I'm not. So my number 2 is the X-Men Legends series.
Really?
Oh my glob. Yes. These, and again, as an X-Men fan, it had literally everything. It's a top-down, and it's for PlayStation 2. I think they both were. So I'm counting one.
Yeah, no,
and
they
2.
both were. Yeah.
The first one, the big bad, is Magneto, of course.
Yep.
The second one, you go ahead and fight Apocalypse,
Apocalypse.
like Sugar Eater Man or whatever, Sugar
Oh,
Boy,
Once
Sugar
again,
Man
this is one of those
shows
games
up.
that extends the roster to an
It's-
insane amount with
but
all
like,
the Marvel characters.
I mean,
the
and like-
references.
And so you get to build your team of 4.
Yep.
And so you, of course, only control one. But like if you're Iceman, instead of walking around, you can double jump and you just slide around the entire, like
Everybody had their own unique powers.
everyone had their own.
Everybody
unique
felt
power.
good.
Everyone felt right. Like, you know, Colossus was a little slower. You know,
Right.
Nightcrawler he just bamf all over the map. And the reason I really think this deserves the respect of a number 2 slot is because without this game, there is no Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
This game, because Ultimate Alliance just said, "Oh, you're doing that with X-Men? We're going to do that with all of Marvel." So this is the beginning of, like, I say X-Men Legends 1 and 2, but Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, even though Ultimate Alliance 2 was the worst Civil War reenactment, or I shouldn't say Civil War, but like adaptation of a comic book that I've ever seen in my entire life.
They do what Marvel movies, the MCU does now. They just cherry pick things from the main backbone of the story.
No, they choose the title of a very popular.
They pick like 1 or 2 things they like out of it, and
they're like, yeah, sure,
make it up.
Yeah, that's a Civil War. Sure, that's. Yeah. Remember, like Ultimate Alliance 2 ended with Nick Fury being taken over by like bad, like there was like microbes or something.
It was like Ultron made a Nick Fury or something.
Yeah, it was something so crazy. I was like, isn't this about?
They wanted to do Secret War and Civil War together, and then
no one ever wants to do Marvel Civil War right.
No, they don't.
No one ever wants to take the comics about mutants blowing up a school and the government cracking down and taking sides.
And everybody having to make that hard moral choice of, do I register my powers?
Yeah,
do I stay anonymous?
That was it. Like they wanted these mutants, like Spider-Man is like the prime example of like, hey, you have to give up your secret identity.
Right.
You have to give that up. Even the Marvel movie was just like, well, I don't want the government telling me what to do. No. It's about giving up your identity.
Everybody knows
and
who
working
you are.
for the government.
Yep.
So like
registering your powers, being told what you're allowed to do.
Yeah. Of people using popular comic titles that sold, just slapping like the first 55% of the story, and then going the last 50 their own way.
Just cherry pick the bones, and they go, okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Like, we're not talking about the MCU,
about the movie,
Matt.
though.
We're not talking about
the movies,
but,
though.
This game has everything. Like, and again, a Cyclops fan, so I could get to build my own team. You go through all the bases. You get to fight like any villain you've ever wanted to fight. Trust me. And the X-Men,
and you get the villains
Legends
on your team in the second one too.
Yep.
So all the ones from the first one join you on the second one. It's great.
You could skill trees.
You get Juggernaut. You get
costumes.
Magneto.
Like you could make like the skins you got to unlock.
Polaris shows up in the second one.
So like this. Like I remember being in Cougar Village, which is actually the dorm room that I stayed in SIUE. Not a really fun place to hang out. Wink, wink. I'm so sorry. But like, I remember just Saturday night, this is how popular I was, like in my freshman year, just staying up until 3 a.m. just playing this game.
And mind you, this is after Dan kicked all the ladies out.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2:30, they had to go.
They had to
go. Marvel.
Your boy needs
X-Men
some
Legends
like
time,
X-Men Legends time, okay? Come to Cyclops.
Ladies, get out.
Ladies.
I gotta upgrade my team.
I got a new costume for Iceman. He's got a bandana now,
and he's gonna need it.
No, these games are great. They built these games built the franchise, which turns into the Ultimate Alliance,
right? Which is the polished version of it. Yeah.
Which is and like they did team ups, but
they added
I think even Ultimate Alliance had some team ups here and there.
They did.
It was great. Like, you know what? I may go home and try and find that game. It was just so fun.
I might even try and I might.
Like
I have one floating around.
Was it online? Do you remember?
I don't think
so.
so.
It was PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
there
this was
wasn't
before
a lot of online stuff there.
No,
but like you could easily make this game a mobile game now.
Oh, hands down.
And I would download it yesterday.
Right.
And play it with people.
I mean, if the PlayStation Network has it, I'll get it right now.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Heartbeat sold.
So I'm going to go home and search for it.
I'm going to as soon as you're gone. I'm going to look it up.
I'm going to.
While my wife, Jill, who's also our caterer, is in
Shout
bed.
outs to Jill.
Shout out to Jill for making another delicious meal for us.
Delicious.
And, but yeah, the minute she goes to bed, I'm going to.
Tiff drove me here. Shout out to Tiff.
Shout out to Tiffany for getting Dan here to the studio.
Thank you guys. So no, it has a place in my heart. It's X-Men. It's an amazing game. Top down, which is one of my favorite games to play. Customizable, skill tree, favorite characters, amazing story.
It does feel a lot like Diablo in a sense with all the dungeon crawling and all that, and I love it.
And like respect, you get to pick your own teammates.
Yep.
You know, so
you get your own like fantasy football version.
It's
like fantasy football meets Diablo.
Perfect. Yeah, it's your own fantasy team
but Marvel
of who you want to play with,
right?
And you go with it.
And it didn't matter who you picked because they were all great in their own aspects.
And you got to level everyone gear. Remember, like
there was
gears. Like it just had all the right elements, played the right way with the right story.
It's a good time sink.
Man, now I think that should have been number one. But no, my number one's good. Matt,
All right.
give me your number
Ready
two.
for mine? Are you ready?
Throw it at me.
Here goes, everybody. Matt's number one pick for the Marvel
No, are we?
video game franchises.
What was your number two?
Number two is Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was your number two. Okay,
Number
so-
one is the X-Men Legends series.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Because of all the things you just said.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I would have made it Ultimate Alliance, which, don't get me wrong, I love the first one.
sure.
The second one ruined it for me.
Oh yeah.
Not that the characters were bad, just the plot. The
Yeah.
plot was stupid,
Mm-hmm.
and the team-ups weren't as cool as they'd made them out to be.
You know, and
Some were, some weren't.
and so like I kind of
But the plot
I
was just
kind of want to put
silly.
Ultimate Alliance in with these.
I
kind of
do, because it's
degree.
essentially the same game, just polished.
Yeah.
Because the first one's Chef Kiss Magnificent.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think it's the first one where you like had to collect the like was it Black Panther and Daredevil
Yep.
trophies in order
Yeah.
to unlock them. Don't you find? Remember, there's like you go into like arcades.
Yeah, you
Madhouse,
actually fight
And all of a
arcade.
sudden, you have to play Pong,
Yep.
where you like grab the thing and you have to move it back and forth. I love it
Because
when
they
games,
played with real villains
Yeah.
that nobody knows.
Well, I love it when games also don't mind being a different genre for a couple of
Oh,
seconds.
sure. It's great.
Like in Jack and Daxter, where all of a sudden you have to be Pac-Man, Daxter.
Yep.
Like I just love those.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow, when they throw you in the music box.
Yeah,
The Baba Yaga finds you and you're like, what is this now? And it's like,
I love it. Even Kingdom Hearts, and it's not my
Yeah.
favorite, but like there was the DDR mission where in Ariel's world. Like I always
Oh,
love when
yeah.
games just like go like, all right, I know you've been playing this for a while, but let's have a fun little like change of
yeah.
like.
Actually,
pace.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow does it twice because they make you do a Metal Gear Solid. They even play the music for it while you're in you got to crawl through a vent through the castle and
Nice. And both Capcom, right?
stuff. Both by Konami.
Konami, sorry.
And made by Hideo Kojima, the guy who did
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
Did
the
you
guy
ever
who
play
made,
Death Stranding?
You know, I wanted to, but I didn't. I watched
have
other
it.
people play. Do you have it?
Yeah, we
I
have.
might have to borrow that.
Tiff stayed up until 3 a.m. one night
Really?
playing it. Like she started at 6, and I like literally woke her up the next, or she
Because
she
I
was
mean,
up
that
the next
man's a
day,
genius
and I
when
was
he
like,
makes
hey,
games.
how is the game? What's the plot? And she's like, I don't.
Dude,
I
that
don't
plot.
know.
So like, I was watching others play it, and like, it reminds me of Metal Gear. The plot gets insane. It's convoluted, but once you get it all and you like suck it in like a Game of Thrones novel,
Yeah,
it gets great.
it's one of those games you can't take a bite. You have to eat the whole.
You gotta pay-
thing
yeah, you
to
gotta
like
pay
figure out
attention.
what you're doing.
Right.
Like you can't play for 2 hours because then you're not going to get it.
Nope.
So, no, but well played.
Yep.
Well played.
That-
X-Men Legends #1. I told you
X-Men
that
Legends
was
is too good.
that's really up there with my
And shout out, like I said,
shout out.
shout outs
Shout-outs.
to the Hulk games and all that, but
Shout out to games.
they're
just
pretty
in
terrible.
general.
Shout out to Games.
Just in general. Yahtzee.
The Hulk games are
Sorry,
okay, but they're
just
just
games in
terrible.
general.
They don't get honorable mention.
So you ready for my number one?
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
I think it's blatantly obvious.
Oh,
Spider-Man for PlayStation 4 5. Not 45.
the new one.
The new, yeah, it's gorgeous. It is the most gorgeous game I've ever played. And I'm almost speechless trying to come up. It's like
No, you're right, because I haven't played it myself, but I have watched you
It
play it.
reminds
It
me
is
a lot of
gorgeous.
me trying to talk about it reminds me a lot of how I talk about with God of War God of War the new
Oh
one,
yeah.
where I'm just like no notes. I have no notes. Like the story is amazing. The action is customizable depending on how you want to fight. You can be a gadget person, you can be a melee person, you can be a distance person. You like it's how you want your Spider-Man to be.
That's beautiful.
The story of how Doc Ock starts from like a mentor figure and how like what happens to him, how he transforms into the villain of Doc Ock that we know now is like it's right out of a comic book because it's just so well done. You have Easter eggs peppered in, you have cameos peppered in, you have one of my favorite relationships, Peter Parker and Mary Jane, but like separated.
Separated.
Oh yeah, like they had just broken up. Like they're not together,
Oh.
so that there's like we still love each other, but for some odd reason we can't be together. So like their conversations are like, and the voice acting is a 10 out of 10. Just everyone.
Nice.
You got J. Jonah Jameson has his own podcast.
What?
Oh yeah, so you're swinging around like, and
Man,
it's
I
like
gotta steal this from you.
just in from Joe, and he's like an Alex Jones figure, where he
my
just is like,
goodness.
and so like the best
That's
part is like
awesome.
you'll just like there's silly missions where it's like, oh, we just found out that this building, somebody messed with all their pressure valves. So you have to go undo the pressure or else the plumbing's going to explode.
Okay.
And it's Spider-Man being neighborhood Spider-Man. So you go over there, you do some things and da-da-da-da. Okay, you get your experience. And it's like,
Web up some pipes. Yeah.
It's like, that was a kind of a throwaway mission, da-da-da. So then you're swinging around, enjoying the city. Then all of a sudden, like, it'd be like, ooh, J. Jonah Jameson podcast just drops in. He's like, this just in, we just saw Spider-Man messing with the plumbing at this building. He's poisoning the water. That building, don't drink the water. Or something like that.
That's awesome.
He's so reflective because he's following everything you do that he's like one mission behind. And there's a part where you have to collect pigeons for a guy. And it sounds silly, but like when you play it, it's really sweet because there's
I'm sure
this guy's like, hey, my wife just died and all we had were our pigeons together and something happened where 3 of them flew the coop. And if you, Spider-Man, if you're out there, if you find my pigeons, and so you're swinging around like you see one.
And then when you get the pigeons back, he ties balloons to him and he turns the whole building into up, right?
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry, guys.
But and so then all of a sudden, J. Jonah Jameson's like, we saw him messing around with pigeons. What does a spider do? Like, and it's just an amazing game. Like, Matt, I will let you borrow it.
I'm gonna have to. Apparently, geez.
They actually just did a really intense texture of the skins. Like,
okay.
So you can look online. The original face model.
I think I will.
The original face model for Peter Parker.
Peter Parker.
In the remastered version, they just made him look more like Tom Holland for some reason.
Oh.
I don't know why. Like, it doesn't really matter.
No, not really.
But they literally went through it for the remastered version. Like, we don't like his face. Give him a new face. But like, they introduced Miles. Like, it has a bunch of different missions. Downside. And I don't want to say it's a downside because you have to play as Mary Jane, but when you get to, it's just like these weird.
You get to play as Mary Jane?
Yeah, you do like little sneaky missions.
Oh, that's kind of neat though.
Yeah, little sneaky missions here and there.
Yeah, because I don't think they.
But like whoever they got, her voice actress is spot on.
That's interesting to make you pay.
What they do with May is pretty phenomenal.
Ooh.
May has a very. She's not like this old frail woman. Like she does things. She gets in there.
I like it when they make random characters like that shine too.
Yeah, I mean everyone shines.
That's good.
Please, Matt, play this. I'll let you borrow it.
I would love to.
It's a 10 out of 10 game. It goes.
But how does it compare to Web of Shadows?
It kicks it to the curb sideways.
I'm leaving again.
Sideways. So
sideways.
So let's recap.
So much sideways,
Matt,
it's back to normal.
Let's run down your 1 through 5.
Let's go. Here we go. Honorable mentions were the fighting games, all the Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter vs. Marvel, all those.
Copy.
The Infinity Gauntlet one. The Silver Surfer was my other honorable mention.
Sure.
The side scroller shooter Pew Pew,
pew, pew, pew, pew,
with
pew.
random villains nobody's heard of besides Mephisto.
Sure.
The fifth one I had was the arcade one, the good old beat 'em up, followed by another good old beat 'em up with Maximum Carnage.
Sure.
Followed by this other side scroller, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse.
You and side scrollers. It's a Mega Man fan, and you just can't get enough of it.
It's just
can't get enough of it.
Capcom made the Mutant Apocalypse, and they nail those side scrollers, man. Web of Shadows is my number 2. That beautiful open sandbox.
Web of Shadows.
And then X-Men Legend Series with Ultimate Alliance 1 on there.
Okay.
Kind of packed in.
My honorable mentions were Spider-Man 64.
Yep.
And then my number 5, Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a great game.
It is.
Number 4 is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I got number 3 as X-Men Next Dimension. Please go play this game.
Please
it's fun.
do. It's a hidden gem.
Number 2, X-Men Legends, because of all of the 20 minutes we talked about how great it was. And then number 1 is Spider-Man for PlayStation 4.
Honestly, surprised you have 2 different fighting type games on there even. I'm proud of you.
I know. Like,
I'm proud of you.
If you throw a comic book behind it, I'll play any video game.
Oh, sure. Just about. Just don't play that Wolverine one I mentioned earlier.
I wasn't going to. Don't worry. All right, Matt. Well, hey, thank you guys.
Yeah.
We still have the second half of this. I know this ran long. Thanks for kicking it with us.
Yeah, we got to come up with a Marvel game that we put on our list.
We still got to fan fix it. So we are going to let you guys go, and we'll see you on the other half of these breaks.
Bye.
Jake, have you ever been looking for a definitive Nintendo ranking and can't seem to find it because it's just everybody's own opinion?
Honestly, all the time, Sam.
Well, I'm looking for someone to give us the answers.
Wait, You mean like a podcast made by two young, handsome men where they create a definitive top 5 list of all things Nintendo?
Should we just do it ourselves?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Let's give it a shot. I'm Sam,
And I'm Jake.
and at Top 5 Nintendo, I'm going to give you my top 5 list,
And I'm gonna give you my top 5 list.
and then we're going to duke it out and see what the real top 5 is.
Welcome to our new podcast. Welcome to our new podcast.
This isn't working.
Agreed. I think we're going to have to do it turn by turn.
Well, now that you mention it, we are a brand new RPG video game podcast.
Our very existence hinges on turn-based gaming.
So join us on the Turn by Turn podcast, where we'll be talking about
Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Golden Sun, Shining Force, Mother, and so many more.
It's your turn to come and join us.
Hello, everyone, and we're back.
Back for round 2.
We should also say that smoking is bad for your
Yeah,
health.
definitely don't condone it.
Yeah.
Even no matter how delicious the sulfur and brimstone flavor are,
And remember,
don't do cigarettes.
fictional characters don't really have to worry about lung disease all that much.
That's true.
Unless their writers decide they have to.
I mean, Nightcrawler can just, teleport away from that cancer.
That's true.
Lickety split.
I wonder if he bamfs if the smoke in his lungs stays where it is.
Well, you gotta remember too, he doesn't necessarily teleport. Remember, he goes through a different realm to hell and then he comes back.
That's true.
So he probably takes the smoke with him through each realm.
Maybe
He probably
brings
gets
more smoke.
I was gonna say he probably brings more smoke.
He should probably go get an X-ray.
He should definitely
MRI,
get an
CAT
X-ray.
scan. He just to be on the safe side. Just be on the
Right.
safe side. So, hello everyone. Welcome back. Like we said,
Wolverine smokes cigars, not cigarettes.
yeah, but he has self-healing lungs.
I know,
The
he's-
man's fine. If he ever loses that power, it's instant lung cancer.
oh, man.
Just do not pass go.
Yeah,
Do not
oh.
collect $200. Go straight to lung
Yeah, if
cancer.
any of his old, if he not only loses his ability to heal, but everything comes back at once too,
he would just
game over.
instantly die.
Yeah,
Like he would just
he'd just melt.
He would he'd turn into a puddle of goo. At one point, this man was skeletons.
It'd be Ark of the Covenant style.
Just- what happened? 5 minutes of his life caught up with him. Like that was it. That's what happens to him in
all of his
5
bad
minute
choices hit him at once.
So as you guys probably know from listening, the first half went on a tad long.
A little bit. So we're gonna make this second half a little shorter,
Yeah.
but I think we're ready.
Yeah.
And Dan, tell us how you're gonna fix any of these games or make a new one for the Marvel franchises as a whole.
I'm not as prepared for this as I thought I'd be. I
Get
spent a
out.
lot of time doing my top 5 and wanted to talk about them. But if I had to wing it, if I had to really, I would. So one of my favorite kind of aspects is, of course, I'm going to go X-Men. That's
Sure.
That's where I want to be. That's where I want
It's
to
a
go.
good sweet spot.
I would want to try and build a game that has the cosmic aspect of the X-Men franchise that we never really get to talk
like
about.
the Shi'ar
Empire,
yeah.
the Brood, all these other
Brood.
people like Cyclops' dad.
Oh, yeah.
Shatterstar. I mean Mogo. We have all
There was
Mogo
one-
World. Mogo World.
Mojo.
I'm sorry, Green Lantern fan. Mogo's the
I was
planet.
gonna say I feel like you're mixing your DC.
I'm
in
sorry.
there.
I'm sorry.
That's
guys.
fine. But no, Mojo had like a game.
Late. I'm
There was
sorry.
one Mojo game, but it's very crappy.
But so what if we do? What if here's what I'm pitching. I want a Mass Effect style,
okay,
Mass Effect style world or gameplay where you go from planet to planet. Each planet has its own kind of. I want to stay away from sandbox. I want it to be very kind of linear, where you start in A, you got to get to Z. Again, you get to build your own team, just like Mass Effect, so you can
Okay.
be Cyclops. So it's bringing in a little bit of the elements that we talked about, why we loved X-Men Legends so much.
like a wide roster.
A
to
wide
choose
roster,
from.
a wide roster, but you can only pick 4. You got to pick your core team.
Okay,
And the one thing I do want to see is a little bit more of a complement, depending on who you pick. Everyone always was like, well, I want a rage person, I want a tank, I want a melee, and I want a healer. I want those 4. But I think really, I have always liked when games give you bonuses of you have the original, I think actually Ultimate Alliance 2 did this.
yeah,
If you had all the original X-Men, you got a
Right.
bonus. If
Or
you had
all the
all the Fantastic Four, you got a
yeah.
bonus.
which was nice. Yeah,
Yeah. But also, you didn't need the bonuses. Weren't make or break.
They weren't super broken or anything. It was just extra.
which is why on my least favorite list, which we didn't even get to, which is that Marvel Strike Force game. And I know
See,
Matt's
I'm gonna
in
have
love
to
with it.
disagree with you again.
I know you love it.
I
and
love that mobile
We're
game.
allowed to disagree, but like the only way you can achieve is like picking a pre-built team.
Yeah, they go too hard into the pre-builts.
Like you have to have like old school Avengers. Like I want to make a game where I can get Cyclops, where I can get Ghost Rider, where I can get Spider-Man, and I can have, Longshot.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to beat the game with them. And I know they really don't have much in common, but I don't need I don't need like an alliance because they're all from the same team in order to beat anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
like I said, the fantasy football aspect.
Yeah,
you want to be able
exactly.
to put in there
Thank
who
you.
you want.
Beautifully put. So I would love to see a cosmic, where like Commander Shepard, where you get to whoever you want is like the forerunner. You got your 3 supports, kind of the first person.
Oh, okay.
Which I think you can make any of the characters first person centric. So even
I think so, yeah.
Even if you have Nightcrawler, who's melee, you can teleport, and Mass Effect does it with biotics. He just has a sword, so he bamps to somebody, slice, bam.
Or same with like Colossus Sister Magic, like, big sword
Exactly.
get out there.
Yeah.
Does range too. Yeah.
I mean, and then you could have like the Juggernauts or like the Colossuses who, they just rush forward. They're the tanks. The game I think instead of Mass Effect, Dragon Age 2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the Dragon Age series.
The Dragon Age series, I think, would be a real I want
that'd be a good
Dragon
incarnation
Age
of Marvel.
only. I want this to be Marvel. I want it to be X-Men, and I want it to be in space. So I guess that is.
No, but you're right. They barely touch upon the space aspect,
Yeah.
which is a pretty big part of most.
It's always Genosha. It's always every once in a while you'll see him tap into like Asteroid M. But
right.
no, I want the Shi'ar Empire. I want the Brood overtaking this planet.
Because like that Sega one I was telling you about, that's essentially the Mutant Apocalypse one. That's exactly it. It's Asteroid M and it's Genosha. Yeah, it's.
And there's a amazing new run with the X-Men, I think written by Hickman.
Yep.
And they have like Krakatoa. But I want off Earth. Like I think we start on Earth, something happens where we gotta get off. Like something happens, maybe Krakatoa gets poisoned.
Phoenix winks at somebody wrong.
In Phoenix. I mean, Phoenix is cosmic. So much of the X-Men element is cosmic. But everything's always on Earth.
Everything's global instead of cosmic.
So I want to see a cosmic X-Men story.
Okay.
Like the Starjammers,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Starjammers.
Starjammers, like Cyclops' dad and his whole team. I mean, and even when we're out there, like let's bring in the Guardians, for a little bit of a cameo,
Sure, because they do mingle.
Yeah. I mean, we can even try and dance to realms. Like, why don't we go to Asgard for a minute?
Right.
And I know Ultimate Alliance did some of this too, but like I want it in the gameplay of a first person with your team where you can conduct them, tell them what to do, as you could do in like Dragon Age.
Yeah, more of that like AI system you get to play with as opposed to.
But what's the story?
I mean,
let's freeball it. Come on, man. Let's come up.
So if you're doing story,
why are we in space?
Oh, I got it. Civil War also touched upon this a little bit in the Ultimate Legends one. Skrull. You could always just have the Skrull attack the Shi'ar. I always have a problem saying their name. It's too many vowels.
Well, that's the problem with like reading all the time.
Yeah.
Like until somebody like the writer tells you how to pronounce it, when I read it the first time, it's how I think.
Shi'ar. I think it's Shi'ar.
Same thing happened with like Game of Thrones. I read all of these people's names, and then the show told me how to pronounce it. I was like, oh, I was super wrong.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time with Game of Thrones.
And like Lord of the Rings, where it's like, oh, this is how you pronounce it. Nope. I was just the wrongest version of that self.
Well, especially with Tolkien, man. Like, his pronunciations. But
anyways.
No, but I think Skrull's coming in, attacking the Empire. She calls out to Professor X, her, boy toy. Help me, you're my only hope. And he's like, okay, well, I got a whole gang of guys.
Because Professor X is like lovers.
Oh, yeah.
Lovers.
Leandra,
oh, here we go.
Leader of the Shi'ar Empire.
Instead of adding the scrolls, because I feel like that adds a...
It's just an easy way to get it going.
What if Earth...
Or Brood.
What if the Earth officially condemns mutants?
Oh, you want to go deeper.
No, let's just say like something happened. Like, Civil War. Only like a mutant thing where like a mutant can't control the powers, blows up a tour, the Louvre. Okay, let's go big. And
Sesame Street is gone.
Enough of the world turns, and then Magneto and like they have a council. A real moment is like all the major mutants come together. like Apocalypse is there, Sinister, kind of like with the new Hickman, how they have the Silent Council, right?
Yeah, Pyro.
Yeah, Pyro. Avalanche is there.
Avalanche.
Morph, like
Morph.
the Jubilee, the real heavy hitters. And so they just decide that, like, look, we can still succeed, but it can't be on Earth. Like we have to be done with this. They even say that thing happens and some evil scientist comes with a way and it stops all mutation. They find they find they call it a cure, of course.
Sure.
And then everyone else is like, no, this is a damning of our species. This is an extinction of who we are. We are the next step. And so then they're like, you know what? We've helped you guys too many times. We've saved the world too many times for you to do this. We're out. We're out. You don't deserve our help anymore.
Forge builds a giant spaceship.
Yep. The Princess Leandra, she just says like, look, Professor X, come to my planet. Like, we will give you peace. We will give you a continent that whatever you want, you're better than Earth. Come on up. And what if they take it?
Yeah.
And like, it's like either this or you face eternal damnation, but like,
I don't know about that.
Never,
but yeah.
like, we find out that Earth is not ready and cannot handle the mutation.
And then when Apocalypse wakes up and there's nobody to stop him, they're like, "Oh no, we messed up."
It's like, oh,
he's back for the umpteenth
but
time.
I think that's how it ends.
Oh, really? That'd actually be a pretty funny ending.
I think the end is Earth begging, like, or like they get a message from the Avengers going like, you guys have to come back.
Yeah.
Like, our Earth is sorry, we were wrong. You are like, we need you. And so then maybe that's the decision. Maybe it's a little like multiple choice. Maybe you get to pick and you can say, we'll go back and save you, or we don't. And that ends. I always love games that let you end without a final battle.
Sure. Or have like multiple endings.
Just be like, no, we're staying here. You made your bed. You sleep in that bed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then like on the way there, of course, the ship breaks down or something like that.
Oh yeah, little side missions are there. Maybe, all sorts of things.
But it'd have to be a massive ship to take the entire mutant population.
Or it could be multiple.
So that could be the base,
Oh, the base could be multiple ships and some get lost.
Or like Borderlands, you know how you can run around the ship?
Yeah.
So in Borderlands 3, I think 3, like you're out
have the spaceship,
Yeah, where you can like say which planet you want to go to. There's distress beacons. So you have the pod.
2 had the border town. You were kind of like Mad Max town. You ran around and talked to people like that.
Yeah. I think that would work. I think that'd be a fun game.
No, I think that sounds great.
X-Men Celestial.
In space.
You run into a Celestial. You run into Galactus.
That's
like,
you could run into
there are so many amazing cosmic figures that the X-Men have dealt with.
The
before.
Watcher just shows up.
Yeah.
Sup.
He's the narrator of the whole thing.
Beautiful.
I mean, I love what If did. Like as
What If
him as the narrator. Yeah.
Oh, that was
so like
genius.
Oh, maybe it's What If the video game for mutants. What if
the
mutants up and leave?
What if the mutants just said, "We're out. Drop the mic."
I want to make a What If game. So this is why I love free balling with you. We get good ideas.
Yeah,
eventually.
I think the What If is
it's
great.
a What If game. Mutants left for the Shi'ai Empire, and then the entire thing is just the side missions they go on to get there, and all that shenanigans. Done in a first-person Mass Effect way. Everyone has their own powers. You have a team of 3 plus you. Skins, of course, because I love me a different uniform all the time.
Yeah, sure.
I like you get the cosmic.
The more customization,
or I hate to scrap this whole plan, but you know what I want to see?
What?
Remember when X-Men vs Avengers came out?
Yes.
And all of 5 of the X-Men got the power of Phoenix.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Great story
arc. I just want that so bad. Like to play as like Cyclops Phoenix powered, to play as Namor Phoenix powered.
Oh man, who got it? It was Cyclops, Emma Frost, Colossus, Namor,
Magic.
I think that was it.
I think it was 5.
Yeah, the 5.
Because they like fixed the Earth in like 2 minutes.
Well,
and people were still pissed. Yeah. Well, didn't Namor then just instantly flood Wakanda?
Yeah, like Namor just was like, Wakanda.
Well, bye.
And we're like, whoa,
a little intense.
Yeah.
No, but like okay, the real video game would be the What If mutants upped and left. They decided Earth isn't worth it.
I like it.
What do you think? Okay, so that's
I
my
think- I think it's great.
that's my
I like
quick
it a
little
lot.
pitch.
See, so you came up with a new one. I'm actually wanting to fix 2 of them. So like,
Oh, way to stick with the title of the show, you jerk. All right, fine. Staying on
so
topic and relevant.
back to the Apocalypse thing, Mutant Apocalypse for the SNES.
Okay.
Like I said, loved it. I love that you do the 5 intro thing, and then it kind of boils down to, choose your poison and go through it. I was really disappointed in that game on only one aspect, and that's the story, because they kind of just jump around after the intro is so good, and then they just kind of, it's like they got rushed through it, it felt like.
Okay.
Because you start out, you do the missions, you kind of like build up to getting to Genosha, and then for some reason Apocalypse is there, and you got to fight Apocalypse on Genosha. I'm like, okay, you guys are just mashed potatoing a bunch of stories, and like I said, Brood shows up.
Sure.
So why don't we just make it a full story that actually makes sense?
Okay.
And everybody has their own mission, but each you could do like, we'll even add like 2 characters, make it like 7 mutants you get to choose from the X-Men team.
Okay.
Everybody has their own starter mission once again.
So
But actually have the mission be applicable to the story.
Okay.
Like Cyclops has to go and sabotage like the workers trying to undo or dig up Apocalypse's tomb or something.
Okay.
Or like his minions. Psylocke has to go in and take out one of the horsemen he's deemed worthy.
Okay.
Like do something like that. Like actually have the story cohesive and make it actually not
story
just
cohesive.
rushed.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Not just that cherry pick bull crap that they usually do.
Okay. Do you get to make your own team, or are you still one?
Oh,
at
you
a
can
time?
make your own team. You could do one at a time, but then it's kind of like, I'd still say it's so since it's going to be a solo play, you could do, since we're in the future now, we can do it. I don't think they could do it back on the SNES day. I'm sure they could, but they didn't. But have multiplayer.
Mhm.
Other people can pick who they want. It's not necessarily a team of 4. Just pick one and go.
Okay.
But definitely widen the roster a little bit.
So
Keep the unique feel to each one.
So you just want to take.
I just want an actual good Apocalypse story. That's an actual game, not just like, oh, he's just
It's
at
called
the
X-Men
end.
Legends 2.
Yeah, but I kind of want it just more the kind of like the Kratos God of War feel, where it's a one person going through beautiful landscapes, go to Egypt, see all the tomb, like everything.
Oh, okay.
I want like a full blown Apocalypse story out of that,
Okay.
but with like the X-Men aspects, like they do their beginner missions, they see them on the X-Jet doing their stuff.
Okay.
Give me a full experience, not just like hodgepodge. Oh, here we hit all the key points.
So do you have anything more for the plot other than just like Apocalypse is coming?
Oh,
So
sure.
we have to stop it. Like, I feel like if we I want to flesh it out a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I was thinking, so when it comes to that, I mean, obviously you can always do a lot more with the Horsemen. Like maybe
yeah,
have something
my
to do with
God.
like maybe you can convince the Horsemen not to join him or slow down the process, or you sabotage one so he has to pick a different person
I think,
and it's randomly generated who gets picked.
man, RNGs. I'm telling you, like,
It's beautiful. Just have like
I-
a system.
I wonder how hard it is to.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Matthew, you
It just
seem
hit
really
me.
excited right now.
If anybody is aware of this, there's the Shadow of Mordor games. Are
Sure.
you, Dan? You
Yeah,
know those?
yeah, they're very hard.
So for those of you unfamiliar with them, it's those Lord of the Rings games where you play as the ranger. He's like a non-canonical character. However, he has like elf ghost in him, so he has all these cool powers. But the main premise of the game is when you take out these orc captains and leaders, it has like, they call it the Nemesis system, where they'll remember things and do things like that. Or they'll replace each other as things go on. You could use that system for the Horsemen.
Okay.
They give you key villains to go and investigate and see if they're the ones that are chosen. You don't know who it is. And if you take the wrong one out, somebody else gets it, or vice versa.
What if we remove all the action? It's like one of those LA Noir Heavy Rains where it's like,
You know
who's
what? I'd
gonna-
be fine
who's
with
gonna
that
be the
too.
horseman?
And you have to play
Doubt.
you got to play as like Emma or Jean and try and investigate their mind, and like things can
Just
latch
a real
onto you.
mental F. You know,
I think
just
that'd be
get-
cool.
That'd be fun.
I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be a fun little change of pace. You know.
It would be.
But that's one really massively underutilized tool is the horseman.
Seriously, like we need a good Horseman story. If you're going to put Apocalypse, have the Horseman. That game, as much as I love it
Mhm.
for the style and the music and the gameplay, not a single Horseman in there.
Yeah, I think
Shame.
I think a really well done Apocalypse Horseman game it would sell instantly.
My wallet
instantly.
would just flap open.
Even if like, and I don't want to.
Do it.
I like the whole like randomness, but I think if you just find 4 good horsemen and just make that the story, and not
Or-
like where it's gambits.
Or
Like,
tell you what, you find clues onto which one he's going for, and you can head him off. And if you get to him first, you can actually maybe influence what's going to happen.
okay,
That way, if you beat them to the punch, sort of, so to speak.
All right, now make up a Avengers game. Go.
Avengers game. What we do is we actually do their actual Civil War storyline. So let's take the X-Men Legends Ultimate Alliance one, and Civil War.
Cut the complete second half.
Cut the second half. No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down the actual Civil War plot line. Everybody's gonna divide it up. Sorry if you liked them and you were using them. Tough. You got to pick a side now. You get 20 on this side, 20 on that side. Go.
Now make a Ghost Rider game.
Ghost Rider game. We're gonna make it like I don't know. If, it's called Road Rash. You ever heard of that game?
Where you're on a motorcycle.
Sega. It was like an old Sega game, and you got like weapons. You got like a chain and a bat, and you had to race people and beat them off bikes. Same thing, only with him.
See, okay, Ghost Rider game. Remember the game Dante's Inferno?
Yes.
I want something like that.
Ooh, that would be beautiful.
And as you get further down, or maybe you start at the bottom level of hell and you work your way up, and as you get closer and closer, you get like more and more at the very end when you're right, like in the ending, as you get out of hell and you get on your bike, you're like, yeah.
You can also do not only Dante's Inferno, but a Devil May Cry style with Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah,
I think that would work beautifully with him.
That'd be good. Now make a Moon Knight game.
Moon Knight. Oh man, now we're going straight to LA Noire.
Oh yeah,
I want detective work. I want creepy crawly. I want gods randomly coming in. Like so, mix God of War with LA Noire. Boom, we got Moon Knight.
See, I disagree. I think our Moon Knight game needs to be a very unsynchronic game. Or at any point, like remember how Batman?
Oh, or Prince of Persia, where things just go.
Or no, Batman messes with you like every once in a while.
Oh, the
like,
arc, the first one, yeah.
You'll be fighting, pat, 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 cuts, and then you're someplace else.
Okay, yeah.
And it just at any point in time, and that can be random. Like your character just stops, and you're like, I was about to beat the boss, and you wake up like 2 days
Didn't
later.
BioShock 3 do that too? Every once in a while, they would like flash things, and you'd be like in the past or something, or like
Oh no, there was like portals and
portals,
stuff.
like random things, yeah.
So I don't like to admit this, but like when I first played the ending of 3, BioShock 3, I was like, what? I literally had to look it up.
Did
They're
you
like,
really?
You're Comstock. I was like, I'm not Comstock.
Really?
And they're like, Elizabeth is like this. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I looked online. It was like the most mind-blowing ending of all time. I was like, well, I missed that ship. And then I looked, I was like, oh, I think I had walked out of the room or something like that during like something important. And
BioShock is quite a trip.
Yeah.
Except for the second one. Second one's kind of
second one's DLC that went too big.
Yeah, it did feel like DLC.
It's a DLC that went too big.
It's okay.
They didn't change enough.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. 3 was great. 1's great.
1 and 3 are brilliant.
That's all you need.
1 and 3 are brilliant.
Now make a BioShock 4.
BioShock 4. Okay. So it starts with Aquaman and Namor fighting in the ocean.
Keeping it on Marvel. I love you. On point.
So clearly, since it's the Marvel version, the DC version Aquaman will win. Marvel version Namor is going to win. Just to keep the fans happy.
Go.
He chokes him to death in the water.
Namor chokes to death in the water?
No, he chokes Aquaman in the water.
Oh, okay. Why is Aquaman in this?
No, I'm saying, well, we're going to hit both branches so we get more money.
And what if we do, we do Namor.
From the DC, the Marvel.
Namor versus who's a sky person? Who has wings? Angel,
yeah.
Yeah. So
Dirt. Hawkman, Hawkgirl.
No, we can't say DC.
Oh, no.
God, dang it, I told you not to say DC.
No, but Angel, yeah. Angel Flight Simulator.
And this has been spitfiring.
But real quick, with the Civil War, I would just totally going back to that again.
Sure.
Like I said, you pick your side on Civil War. You had to play through the actual storyline, like the grim, the gristle, all of it. Then on top of that, I actually would love to have a little Phoenix Wright moment in there where you have to go to the court, and fight like the legislation, depending on which side you were on.
I still like the Papers, Please thing.
Papers, Please would work
That'd
great.
Be great. That'd be
say
good.
Say if your side won and the registration passed,
yeah.
Now you either have to show your paper or go grab them from people.
Or what if it's like, hi, I'm Spider-Man and my real name is Peter Parker. Hold on, I'm getting a cell phone call. Aunt May died. Yeah. Okay, that's expected. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah. No. Should have watched out for this.
You know what? Expand it. Make the decisions actually matter and things of that nature. And I think you could do a really great Civil War game.
That'd be fun. I mean, I really liked Ultimate Alliance 2 / Civil War, but
don't get me wrong. The gameplay's solid. The mechanics solid. It's just the story.
And we've said it before.
Everything
I'm going to say it again.
Solid.
Quit using popular titles and then just making your own ending with them.
Yeah, don't.
And, hey, DC Animated Universe, I'm looking at you. Quit calling and taking like 90% of the story and then making up the last 10%. Hush.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not how that ended.
It's so weird why they did that.
I don't know. I'm sure they're just trying to give us like it's a little bit something new.
Yeah, but it's like don't do that.
But I didn't buy this rent this because I wanted something new.
Right.
I rented this because I wanted to see.
And here's the thing: not everybody reads the comics, and maybe that's their first impression of it.
And
so
also,
keep it the same, because I'm going to be happy no matter what. Even if I read it, I'll be happy.
I'm sorry for all you Marvel fans, but I do need to just drop this at the very end. If I don't get a Blackest Night anything, pretty soon I'm going to lose my mind. Give me a video game. Give me an animated series. Give me the HBO Max show. My God, it's so ripe.
It needs to be a TV series.
And they're just
too big.
sitting there. It's just sitting. Gold is just sitting on the table. And no one's touching it. I don't know.
It's like I said, man. Give me that Omega Red TV show.
Shut up. Okay, and that's it. Yeah, we're calling it. Matt said Omega Red 3 times, so now we have to officially close the show.
I can't help it if he's an amazing villain. I mean, he was in Deadpool too. Look it up. He's in it for 4 seconds.
I'm still here. I have nothing to say to this.
How dare you?
Oh, how dare the creator?
He's a big scary Russian.
My tentacles are so scary.
My tentacles are vampires.
My tentacles are scary, and so are my spores.
Pocket spores.
Pocket spores. Dumb.
Hey, they are death pheromones.
I am even madder now. You have done no justice to this character.
But seriously, do yourself a favor. Play some of these games if you haven't.
Oh, Matt.
Look up these things we've been talking about. They will
like, guys,
genuinely
honestly,
enriching your Marvel DC lives.
Like, honestly, I know these are older games, and I don't know what the demographic or age listeners are, but like, guys, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, you're gonna love it.
Same with Web of Shadows, you will love it.
You're gonna like Shattered Dimensions more, but that's fine.
Do you ever want to know what Wolverine with a symbiote suit looked like? Web of Shadows.
You can also Google it. Type in Rule 34.
Whoa!
No, we don't. Okay, don't.
Hey, Dan, look at that red light. That means our time's
the time's running out.
Oh man, no.
No, but honestly, like these games are like they're amazing because they're amazing. I mean, me and Matt have amazing memories listening and playing them.
And like you said with that one X-Men Next Dimension, certain games and Legends and stuff, we just stayed up all night, all the time playing them because they were so good.
Everyone's got those games that just hit right in the heart, and these are them. These are them for us, Marvel-wise.
Yep.
But on that beautiful somber note, Matthew, I think I hear the wind in the trees calling us to close.
Is that wind you hear, or is that?
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi, Daniel. I see you're trying to leave without a smoke.
Yes, Nightcrawler. Smoking is bad for your health.
It is.
It is.
No.
Have you tried the... I don't know where I'm going with this, but I was going to try and bring a candy cigarette in this whole thing.
Where are you going with this? I do not like it.
I do not like it at all. And on that beautiful closing note that we totally scripted, I think we're going to go, Matt.
I think so. It's about time.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Good night, you beautiful people. Or good morning, whichever one you're listening to. Morning or night. Goodbye. It could be either. Bye. Bye. You are now closing your eyes. They are getting heavy with every breath. Soon you'll be in dreamland, dreaming of a good Marvel Civil War. A Civil War where Nick Fury's not the main character, and it's really all about whether people should give up their secret identities. Sometimes, everyone needs to give up an identity.
Unless you're driving right now, in which case, wake up.
Yeah, what are you doing? Come on, focus.
Focus. Eyes and
I'm sure the people behind you are just ecstatic that you're, swerving like that.
Good night, friends.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Matt.
Bye.